Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. In this video, we're going to show you how to troubleshoot the top 6 reasons why your gas dryer is making noise. Stick around till the end of the video for an important dryer safety tip that most people don't even know about. But before we begin, we're going to make sure the appliance is unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. Also make sure you turn off the gas valve at the wall. The first thing we're going to check are the drum rollers and axles. The drum rollers and axles support the drum as it turns. The rollers have bearings in them that ride on the axles. Depending upon your style, you might have 2 in the back and 2 in the front, or just 2 in the back. If the bearings are starting to fail, you'll hear a squeaking noise. If you let it go too long and the bearings completely fail, it'll sound like there's a pair of tennis shoes tumbling inside the dryer. When inspecting the rollers and axles, you want to make sure that the rollers spin freely on the axles. If the bearings have failed and you caught it soon enough, the axles may still be okay and you can just replace the rollers. If you need to replace any of the rollers, it's best to replace them all as a set. If any of the axles are scratched up, you can replace them as needed. If you need to order a part, simply go to AppliancePartsPros.com and type in your model number. Find your part on the easy-to-read diagrams and match it to the number below. Click on the part if you want to see more pictures of the item or watch its repair video. You can also scroll down to see DIY stories from customers like you, or ask a question in the Q&A section. Once you're ready, you can add the part to your cart. It's that easy. Most orders will arrive within 2 business days. Now we need to look at the front drum glides. They're what the front of the dryer drum rides on. There are a few different styles of glides. Even though they're different, they all do the same thing. They're usually located on the front panel, on the bulkhead, or on the drum itself. Once the glides have worn down, the drum will come into direct contact with whatever it's supported by, whether it's the front panel or the bulkhead, and you'll hear a grinding noise coming from the front of the dryer. If you've determined that they're worn out, you'll need to replace them. Next, we need to check the idler pulley. The idler pulley puts tension on the belt so the drum will turn. The idler pulley is mounted on the idler arm and rides on the idler axle. Depending upon the style you have, the parts may come separately or all together as a complete assembly. It's usually located down by the motor pulley so that the belt can be routed around it and the motor pulley. Once you have the dryer apart, inspect the idler pulley. If the bearing in the wheel has failed, it'll cause a squeaking noise. Also inspect the axle. If it's damaged, you should replace it at the same time. Next, we need to check the blower wheel. The blower wheel circulates the warm air through the dryer and then out the exhaust. The blower wheel is usually made out of plastic. It either mounts with threads or a D-shape depending upon your motor shaft. Depending upon the design, it can be located either behind the front panel or behind the rear panel inside the blower housing. Make sure the blower wheel isn't clogged with lint or clothing. You want to make sure that the blower wheel isn't stripped or has any damaged blades. If it does, then it may be hitting the blower housing as it turns, causing noise. So spin the blower, which should make the motor turn as well as the drum. If it doesn't, then you have to replace it. As always guys, hit those like and subscribe buttons now to help support us making more of these videos. Now we need to check the drive belt. The drive belt links the drum to the motor pulley so it turns. The drive belt is a long multi-groove belt that goes around the drum and the pulleys. Usually it just breaks, but if it's starting to deteriorate and pieces are falling off of it, it may make a thumping noise as it goes through the pulleys. Once you have the dryer apart, you can inspect the belt. If it's damaged, you'll need to replace it. Last thing we're going to check is the drive motor. It drives the dryer drum and the blower wheel. Inside the motor are a couple of bearings. If they fail, you'll hear a squealing noise when the motor is running. Once you get to the motor, you can manually turn it. It should spin freely. If there's any unusual friction or you hear any noise, you'll have to replace it. Now here's that safety tip we promised you earlier. Dryers cause thousands of house fires every year. Most of these are caused by a buildup of lint. Lint and dust have a tendency to build up inside the dryer and vent, and are the first things to ignite. Make sure your lint screen isn't missing or damaged, or it will let lint into the vent hose. Also make sure you clean it after every load. If you have the flexible style ducting, it's recommended that you upgrade to the rigid metal kind to prevent lint buildup and the duct from accidentally being crushed. Make sure you follow the manufacturer's instructions when installing new venting. Failing to clean the dryer is the #1 cause of these fires, so make sure to clean the inside of the dryer, including the lint screen and blower housings, the ducting from the back of the dryer to the wall, and from the wall all the way to the outside of the house at least once a year. Once you take care of the problem, you can plug the appliance in and turn the gas back on. Thanks for joining us for another troubleshooting video brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons now, and if you have any questions or want to share how your repair went, leave a comment down below.